Hey, what's up, everybody? This is Charles Sebastian, and welcome you guys to another episode of the DREAMERSPRO show. We cover everything from sports, hot topics, classic debates, entertainment, and we give you guys a fresh perspective on things and how we see them. And today we got a show that I'm really going to enjoy touching on. But before we even get into that, please make sure you like the video and sub to the channel. I lost my train of thought there for a second. So this morning, I just woke up and I was just kind of going through the internet here. And I came across a show from my man, Marcellus Wiley. And the headline of the show was Shannon Sharpe, Why Broadcasters Hate Podcasters, and I Disagree, right? It's about a 15-minute segment. And if you guys haven't seen it, I implore you guys to go check it out because he did a fantastic job with that segment. And I absolutely loved every single second of it. But what he was talking about, I believe, was pretty serious because it exposes the hypocrisy that exists within the sports media space, especially in the independent space. Essentially, what Marcellus Wiley was reacting to was a sit down that took place between Shannon Sharpe and Cam Newton. We covered bits and pieces of that conversation, and it was a robust conversation. They touched on a bunch of different topics. But in this one, Shannon Sharpe was essentially expressing his disappointment in how people have been kind of going at him in the independent space. And he was just basically saying he doesn't really understand where all of that is coming from. And Marcellus Wiley sat up there and like, bro, you're being it's either you're being a hypocrite or you're being disingenuous. Because you play the exact same game on television, but then come into the independent space and act like, well, why is everybody coming against me? And I thought he brought up some salient points that we want to play for you guys. So what we want to do now is want to play exactly what Marcellus Wiley had to say. I want you guys to listen to everything he said because he gives us a behind the curtains perspective because he's actually been on television before. So take a listen to what Marcellus Wiley had to say, and I'm going to come back and react to his comments. Take a listen to that there.
Shannon wrong for this though. And I don't know if it's because he's still in it, can't see the forest from the trees. I'm not in it. Like, I'm on sides, and I've been on both sides, and I can see. Just like race relationships. Like, people be like, oh, man, they are like that until you hang with somebody like that. Then you be like, oh, they ain't like that. It's the same thing here. Like, oh, man, they over there fake. Well, they not fake. They just trying to be polished, trying to be at the cocktail party where you're not going to interrupt every conversation and give them your real. Versus cocktail party versus cookout versus barbecue. You know how you talk different at the barbecue than you do at the cocktail party. See what I'm saying? You the same dude, but you're doing it different. So that's first and foremost. Get it out the way. There's an authenticity conversation being had when you on TV and then when you on the internet. Internet is more real. Internet is realer. That's why Stephen A. Smith, you watch him on First Take. Why did he want to do the podcast? Beyond other reasons, he got different takes. He got a different level of authenticity. Same dude? Yeah, same dude. Why are you doing it different? Are you faking it up there or are you keeping it real down here? Or is this fake too? So is the media cutthroat? What Shannon was wrong about is saying, oh, why are they taking shots at me on the internet, in the podcast space? They don't know me. And last time I checked, nobody on TV knows all those athletes they talk about. Nobody. They don't call them. They ain't talk to me. They ain't had a conversation with me. You talking about the podcasters ain't did that with you? You ain't did that with the athletes. That's why I said, King Solomon said it. Nothing new under the sun. This ain't new. And I hate when it gets misconstrued in that way. Like the entity of what we're doing is different. It's just how you're doing it is different. Up there, it's the same topics. We already know. Everything is based on nouns. Y'all remember? Like second, third grade, nouns. Person, place, things. So up on TV, you know what you got to talk about? We got to talk about LeBron. We got to talk about Dak. We got to talk about the Cowboys. We got to talk about the NBA, NFL, Yankees. You know what it is. Cowboys. That's what they do. You know what on the internet? You know what they talk about? You know what we talking about? Cowboys, Yankees, Lakers, LeBron, Dak, and yo ass. We talking about you who talk about them. You ain't did nothing wrong. You ain't got nothing to worry about. Remember that? And I think what's happening is people, like, just listening to Shannon's comments, not judging the comments, just judging the meaning behind what he's saying. It's funny how he thinks he's doing something different on TV than somebody's doing on the internet. Now, there are shock jocks that are on TV. There's shock jocks that are on the internet. But to make it seem like the internet is based on, independent space is based on, backstabbing, it's a lot more and all that. Up there, it's because everyone's passing the Grey Poupon. Everybody's in on the act. Remember Kwame Brown was saying, all these people, man, the get along gang? That is so real. One of the things that fatigued me, one of the reasons why I tapped out, one of the reasons I said, hey, this contract looks great, these opportunities look great, but I gotta go, is because it ain't real enough for me. Y'all know me, I talk about myself first and then I got everybody else in line. If I could go there on me, y'all getting it. And I was like working with cats and I'm just like, half of what y'all say, y'all don't even believe. Y'all just trying to pop off and show, right? And I'm like, man, there gotta be a realer way to do it. It's gotta be a way to cover this, but cover it in a real way. Now, it ain't all kumbaya, it ain't all uplifting, I get all that. But I just felt weird. One, talking about a cat in a negative way that was better than me. And why was I coerced, persuaded, incentivized to do that? Because that's who they pay. The ones who get the most, generally speaking, are the ones who go there. And I was like, man, I ain't gonna never make big bank. I mean, I was making dough though, don't trip. A couple $1 million, I ain't gonna lie. But the 10, the 12s, the 15, the 18, the 25 that's coming for Stephen A., you know how you get there. Hey, Wiley, you down? Nah, I'm not down. It's all good, though. Some are not. But I knew that culture was rewarding and incentivizing that behavior, and it was disgusting, especially when those who behave like that, except one guy, were all non-players. High-level players. And then Pat McAfee hit, and I was like, there is a way.
So you heard what Marcellus Wiley had to say. Look, I think he brought up some fantastic points. I thought he brought up some fantastic points. Here's where Shannon Sharpe is being hypocritical in my personal view. Shannon is talking about, why are people attacking me? Why are they using me for content? And, basically it's disappointing and all of that, blah, 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 blah. But that's exactly what Shannon Sharpe has been doing on television all these years. I'll give you guys an example. Michael Jordan. Shannon Sharpe, when he got on Undisputed, all of a sudden out of nowhere, a guy that once said the three greatest players of all time was God, Jordan, Air Jordan, and Kobe, all of a sudden started going at Jordan every single chance he could get. All of a sudden started saying ridiculous things and turned into a Michael Jordan hater. Now, why was he doing that? Because he was creating content. Number one. Number two, he was also doing it to prop up LeBron James, which ultimately benefited him because he built an audience behind it. Because Shannon Sharpe has a huge LeBron James following. So he was attacking Michael Jordan. Jordan could have came out and said he finds that to be disappointing. And that's the point that Marcellus Wiley was saying, because he's like, but you do it to athletes. So what are we talking about here, number one? Number two, look at all of the hate he gave Russell Westbrook for years, trashing him ever since he became a Laker. Wasn't that, I'm lost. What were you doing in that particular instance? Or Kyrie Irving, when you went at Kyrie Irving because you're a LeBron James lover and you did that? Or what about the time when Kwame Brown made some comments about LeBron James's basketball game, his game. And then Shannon Sharpe went on Undisputed and started taking personal shots at Kwame Brown, the person. And Kwame was talking about LeBron's game, and he never mentioned Shannon Sharpe at any point in time. He used them for content there. Or what about the Cat Williams interview? The Cat Williams interview was basically you bringing in Cat Williams to talk about all of these other people. And what gets me with the Shannon Sharps, with the Stephen A, is that they act like as if they're above it all. They act like they're outside of the ecosystem. Like, no. You guys talk about us. You use us for content, and we don't do anything except just give you our opinions. BS. Stephen A. Smith is going through a back and forth right now with Willie D and who else? Faison Love and all that for some comments he made about OJ. He was talking about somebody else. Everybody talks about everybody else. And the point Marcellus Wiley brought up was like, but when y'all get on TV, y'all don't say nothing else about each other. But you have no problem going at everybody else. And then when it happens in the independent space, all of a sudden like, oh, but boy, what did I do? Why are they talking? Like, cut out the nonsense. Cut out the nonsense. Sports news is based on you reacting to what this person did, and that everybody uses everybody. It's an ecosystem. It's an ecosystem. But these guys act like they're outside of it. Like, oh no, we're above it all. They just talk about us because we're at the top. So you do a show. I challenge you to do a week worth of Nightcap and you don't talk about anybody but yourself. Who's tuning in? Nobody. Nobody. Do the Stephen A. Smith show and talk about yourself. But that wouldn't work, right? So you got to talk about people and things and events. Because that's what people are interested in. They're interested to hear your views on other people and other things that occurred in the world. And they're like, oh no, I don't understand where this is coming from. And Marcellus Wiley brings up a great point, and it's something I've been thinking to myself quietly. He's basically saying there's a lot of fakeness that goes on TV, and you can see straight through it. You can watch a debate panel, and everybody has the same opinion. How is that possible? How is that possible? Or if there's an obvious thing that needs to be addressed, everybody just dances around it and nobody wants to say what's really going on. So please cut the nonsense. Cut the nonsense. Shannon Sharpe has benefited mightily off of the thing he's complaining about. Mightily. The Cat Williams interview got him 100 million views plus now. And Cat was going at people that he had issues with, and Shannon benefited from it. As a matter of fact, every guest that he brings on, he's asking them about issues they have with other guests, other people. That was a formula that comedians started going like, yo, bro, what is this going on? They started calling it his show messy. Like, cut it out, man. Like, enough with the virtue signaling and the sanctum. Oh, I don't know why they're doing it to me. I don't get it. Why is it me? Why are they coming at me? Like, cut it out. Like, let's just stop. These are my thoughts. Whatever you guys think, leave your thoughts in the comments and we catch you on the next show. Peace.